Hello YouTube. Welcome to another computer build video. Seems I'm cranking these out today. We're going to do a complete overhaul of my home theater PC today with these particular parts, as well as a few others, including this hard drive, which, well, actually that hard drive, which is being cloned at the moment by Clonezilla. So this hard drive will be going in there. I got a 4 gig kit of RAM for it, that low profile Kingston RAM, and a really nice Gigabyte board, a Gigabyte Ultra Durable 4 E350N. It is one of the AMD Fusion boards. It has a nice big fan on it. It's very similar to the Atom board. It's in the same family of Atom board I used for my home server. Let's take a look at it. Oh, that's beautiful. And it's so tiny. That's my hand. Look at it. Here she is. Look at this little board. Isn't that just adorable? It's got one PCI slot, which I'm going to need for the wireless card. It's got 4 SATAs, so this could actually make a pretty good file server board itself because of that. It uses, I think, less power than the Atoms do, because the Atoms have power-hungry graphics, whereas these don't. So that's a bit ironic. But either way, this is the board. This is, of course, the processor. I believe it's a BGA chip, just like the Atom is. It's BGA mounted onto the board, so you can't upgrade it or change it. It just is what it is. You get 2 RAM slots. You can put 8 gigs of RAM in these, as opposed to the Atom board I have, where you can only put 4 in there, and that's maxed out. It looks like it uses quite a few electrolytic capacitors, even though it's an ultra durable board. There's some there. And there's some there, and there's also some over here, but they don't look to be too bad. I'll kind of capture these. They're SunCon capacitors. They might be okay. But there's some solid caps up here, right by the CPU voltage regulators, so that should be good enough. So, looking good so far. I like the look of this board. That little, I guess, North Bridge down there is so tiny, it's just cute. Here's the layout of the board itself. You get real PS2, serial parallel VGA, HDMI, USB, Ethernet, and of course audio. But I'm going to be using the HDMI port. This has built-in graphics. There's onboard graphics that are actually decent. It's a Radeon HD something or other for the onboard video, so it should be able to handle like 1080p video or something just fine. We'll test that out once I get it all built and everything. So, yeah, that's the board I'm using. And we're going to be using this case, this Micron case. It currently has a board in it, so I got to get rid of that, and it has a hard drive in it too. I'm going to strip this case of everything but the DVD drive, basically. So, yeah. Hey, you ever wanted to know why IT guys are always so grumpy and cranky? This is why. Installing a motherboard here. I can't open this RAM slot because this fan shroud's in the way. So I have to take the board out again to put the RAM in. I am most displeased at this. One thing I'm having to do with this case is, since the USB headers for this board are so far back, I can't use this short little cable here. This is just useless. So I stole a USB cable, a header cable, out of that case over there. And since front USB is actually broken on that case, I'll just use it in this case, and then all will be hunky-dory. Alright, got the machine together. That Clonezilla job finally finished. So now I have a 500 gig Caviar Blue in this machine, and I have an Asus DVD drive, SATA one, and I got the board installed here. I also have a wireless card in here. Let me turn this around so you can see it better. I got 4 gigs of RAM installed, got the wireless card in here. It's a D-Link DWA 525. This is what was in the old home theater PC, so it should be good. And I'm using a really crappy antenna right now until I get a better one in. So there you go. This is the power supply that actually came with the case. So I've been inside these power supplies, and it's actually a really good one. Although the one thing I'm doing here, hopefully it doesn't cause too many issues. And it didn't cause issues with the old board, but this power supply only has a 20-pin connector, so hopefully that's enough to drive the onboard video just fine. I mean, it's a Z8. I think it's a Z8 board anyway. It's an AMD Fusion board that doesn't even use a whole lot of power in the first place, so it'll probably be fine. I've run boards like that plenty of times in the past. I just don't push them too hard when I do that. So there you have it, guys. Now I just need to get this Molex to SATA adapter here and plug in the DVD drive. Okay, now we're ready to test it out. Check out the BIOS and everything. So this is what it looks like with the cover on. It's just a nice black machine. As you can see, the board that was originally in it was a Pentium 4 based machine. It's anything but that now. It's a net top AMD board, so let's fire it up and try it out. It appears to fire up. Let's get to the BIOS. Yeah, look at that. Alright, bog standard BIOS. The memory's at 1066. That's good. What's IGX? Oh, wow. You can change the frame buffer size to like a gig if you want. Wow. I'm going to leave it on auto just to see what it does. I might bump it up to a gig eventually, actually, just in case I do need that much. I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'll probably end up changing that just because having that is kind of nice. What's the date? It's the 20... I forget what the date is. It's the 28th. Why is every BIOS date just wrong? There, that's better. Alright, detects the DVD drive. All that fun stuff. Let's check this out. IGX configuration. I'm just going to see what auto does, because it might behave in a way that's normal. C6, I don't know what C6 does. Virtualization, I'm not going to need that. Cool and quiet, yes, because that'll let the fan not wear out as quickly. EFI. I don't prefer EFI, so I'm going to shut that off. First boot device should always be the CD-ROM. Smart should be on. On board for that. This is the keyboard I'm using, by the way, if you're curious. It's one of those compact cherry brown switch ones, if you recognize that sound. Native IDE. Yeah, I'm not using an SSD, so I don't really need AHCI. Onboard audio, definitely need that. Don't need Pixie booting. Power management. Alright. HPET is good. AC back function. Yeah, off. PC health status. Hardware thermal control. Smart fan controls enabled. That's good. CPU temperature is nice and cool. 30 degrees. Let's see if it'll blue screen, because there's Windows on. Windows has been installed on this 500 gig drive. Let's see if it blue screens. I bet it will. Look at the bleed on that light. The bleed on the backlight of that screen. Look at that. Cheap Chime monitor. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it blue screens or not. This drive was in an AMD based computer before, so it might actually boot. That would be crazy if it did, though. Oh my god. No way. It's actually booting. Sweet. That's crazy. I didn't expect that to boot up. As you can see, this drive used to be in my bedside computer. But I switched that over to the terabyte because it makes sense to have a 500 gig in here. So what's in this machine? It has an AMD E350D APU, which is a CPU and a GPU in one package, with Radeon HD graphics. I forget which Radeon HD graphics. I'll look those up in a minute. But it's a 1.6 gigahertz processor. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll go look at the specs in a minute and tell you exactly what this board's all about. All right, here's the board listing on Newegg. So as you can see, it takes 1066 RAM. You can run it at 1333, but you have to overclock it. So screw that. There's no point overclocking on a net top board. Where is it? There it is. It's AMD Radeon HD 6310 graphics. So it's 6000 series. It's fairly new. It's not going to be anything super powerful, but it'll be good enough for 1080p video, and was my main concern. And this is going to be displayed on a 720p TV over here, so that should be completely fine for what I'm doing with it. I shouldn't have to upgrade this for a while, because it'll probably do 1080p just fine. I mean, I don't really intend to do much more than that, than 1080p anyway. Like, there's no way I'm not going to buy a 4K 3D TV or something, but because I'm fine with a little 720p or a 1080p set. This is a 720p one, so it'll work out just fine through HDMI. So that's what this board is all about. It's just a net top board that has some better graphics than the Intel Atom ones do, and that's specifically why I chose this one. I mean, I could have gone with an Atom system, but they tend to use more power and the graphics aren't as good. So having that AMD Radeon 6310 is definitely a good choice for a home theater PC. I would definitely recommend these for that. I'll find out whether the performance is up to par or not, but I'm thinking it probably will be. I'll get a fresh copy of Windows on this and then we'll try it out. Alright, so we're installing Windows XP to install Windows 7 because it's an upgrade disk. Yay! Wasted time. Oh well, I do it all the time on these machines. But going through the install, it seems pretty snappy, so hopefully it's the same on Windows 7. Alright, I've got a web browser installed, all the basic stuff running through the endless freaking updates. But either way, we're gonna test this system out by playing a 1080p YouTube video, I think. Jordan, you look exasperated. I guess I'll do a little channel promotion too, why not? If you guys like Linux and general geekiness, devices, Android phones, rooting your Android device, or general Linux news and things like that, definitely check out Twill.tv. He's a good guy and he does good stuff. That's all I need to know, really. And he's a nice guy, and he deserves the views. So definitely go check him out if you're into Linux and into Android phones and the like things of that sort. But enough of my babbling. Let's see how a full screen 1080p video actually performs on this computer.
Hello again. Today we're going to be taking a look at a device that Verizon sent me a few weeks back. This is the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, again from Verizon Wireless. First up, some specs on the device.
Plays completely fine. It plays perfectly smooth like it would on another computer with adequate performance. So that Radeon HD 6130, I think, definitely does a good job with 1080p video as far as displaying it is concerned. I don't know about rendering it with a movie editor, but for home theater use, it's perfectly legitimate. One thing I one thing I would like to see is this perform without hardware acceleration on. Let's try that. I'll turn it off here and we'll see how it runs.
5.55 inch, if I remember correctly, 1280 by 720 Super AMOLED display. It's rocking a 1.6 gigahertz Exynos quad-core processor. I believe it's specifically...
Without hardware acceleration, it's like slightly choppy, but it's barely noticeably choppy. With the hardware acceleration on, it's just smooth. It's great. So if we can do 1080p YouTube just fine, it'll play anything else just fine, I think. So... this will definitely be a good home theater PC for quite a while. I don't plan to upgrade to anything past 1080p for quite a long time, because I'm sure it will be expensive for quite a long time. So, there you go, guys. That is the home theater PC overhaul. Yeah, overhaul. And it seems to work great. I'll enjoy watching DVDs, online content, Netflix, a lot of Netflix. And some longer YouTube videos on this. I've watched on this TV has had a lot of UXW Bill and B Bishop PCM on it as far as the longer videos go, and I quite enjoy watching those videos. So definitely a good place to for media consumption. Anyway, that was the upgrade. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one, everybody. Ciao.